I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Tony Wuerfel. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing so well, man. So good.
It's a great pleasure to connect with you. Tell us, what part of the world are you in right now?
I'm in Orange County, California.
Oh, sweet. So it's probably just evening there.
Sunny.
Still.
It is. It's sun is still up some. It's starting to go down. It's getting a little bit colder, but it still feels like paradise.
Oh, that's wonderful. I know what paradise feels like. I'm in Trinidad, so yeah, we could definitely have an entire conversation right there.
So
right?
much more so, yeah. Oh, jealous.
Oh, thank you. It was the emotion I wanted evoked.
Nice.
Well, Tony, tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Which of my talents? I think learning to create interesting content that people are talking about, finding a niche and going with it, and that's been creating a kind of community maybe that kind of invites others into the conversation, and that's definitely been something I've been able to work through with people, which has been pretty great.
Now let's start from the podcaster side of things, and then we can go to the blogger writer side of things, and then the teacher, right? Sure. Like who did you learn the skill of podcasting from?
I listen to a lot of different podcasts. Everything from like a Rob Bell to a Timothy Ferriss. Lots of different podcasts. I'm constantly trying to see what are other people doing. What kind of conversations are they having? And so, I love the podcast.
You're doing an amazing job with the podcast you have. Tell us the name of it.
It's Faith Undone.
Yeah, tell us about it.
So Faith Undone, what it is it's essentially we're deconstructing faith. I think a lot of people right now have a lot of questions about faith as the age of science kind of rises, and we're learning a lot more historically of kind of what was going on, what did take place, what probably didn't take place throughout the Christian scriptures. And because of that, I think the world is just drastically changing, and Christianity has kind of been, at least 40 to 50 years behind on a lot of these social justice issues, and obviously science and history as well. And so a lot of us are asking a lot of questions. What do we do with the Bible? What do we do with, maybe God is not a middle-aged white man sitting up there somewhere? And if that's the case, then what does the divine look like? And so what we do is we grapple with all those kind of ideas, and also really trying to understand how to be a better human being in general after we deconstruct. And so it's kind of like I liken it to getting to the stained glass windows of a church. And a lot of us, we take the hammer and we start banging away at those stained glasses. But as we do so, we're also on the other side reframing and finding new ways to view it. So we don't just deconstruct, we also reframe and reconstruct something that works. And so that's what we do.
Yeah. And that must be a challenge.
Oh, it's so much fun. But yeah, it is challenging. I'm very unpopular, if you can believe it, with some of the more right-wing Christian fundamentalists.
Yeah. But it speaks to the power of questions and how necessary they are, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
you ask a good question and you have 100 more questions that emerge.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating. Wow, well, I got to listen to the podcast. I loved the construct of the podcast. Now, you were speaking on it, right? Do you do interview style, or is it sometimes a mix of both worlds?
I have been wanting to do more and more interviews, but as I've been doing them, I've just had so much feedback of, hey, can you talk about this issue? Can you go to this one? So I actually have quite a few interview podcasts ready in the queue, but I've been so busy trying to get to some of the other concepts that those have taken a back seat. But they are ready, and I've had a riot doing some of them.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely need to listen to your audience, right? And help
Right.
them. Yeah, yeah. So definitely. Well, that's a really good idea to have as like a treasure chest, right? The treasure chest of
Right.
conversations that you can access if you want to. Pretty amazing. Ooh,
Yeah.
like I'm ready to hit the buy button. Like, where is it?
Nice. Yeah, that's been super helpful for me is always having, at least being up to the place where if you have a rough week or if you get sick, you've got, three or four there that you hit publish, it's out, and yeah, you're golden. But also keeping what you're saying relevant. So always being ready to record that coming week or whatever. It's nice having extra ones in the queue.
Yeah, it is. It is. Definitely is. Well, my friend, tell me one other thing that you've done consistently over the last 3 years.
I helped build a faith-based community here in Orange County. And so I was a teaching speaker here for about 4 years. And just very recently, actually, many of my podcasters have been kind of keeping up with this. I chose to step away from that and start creating something a little different. And so every week, though, I would show up on the weekend. I would speak, and we would kind of grapple with different ideas, and then we would do various different social justice things in the area, connecting with different resources here. But that's what I did for about 4 years, as well as doing some different teaching concepts on the side of philosophy, also education. I used to be an English teacher before, 6 years ago. So that's kind of what I've been up to.
How does that make you feel?
Oh, it just fills me up. I think when you find the thing that you're passionate about, it just becomes this wheelhouse. You get it moving, and I think that's when you just come alive. You find that thing that you do that just fills your soul.
Yeah.
And I've also found that when I find that thing, that's when I feel like things become successful, because other people do gravitate toward people who are also kind of in that rhythm, in that groove, because they can't help but be connected when someone is enjoying the thing they do.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, I heard it before, but I always thought the person who looks as though they're enjoying it is faking it just to connect with other people.
Right.
But I've learned that there's a truth, right? There's a truth that shines through.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I love podcasting. I love these 12-minute conversations. I could do this for as
So
long as
good.
my voice would last, right?
Nice. Yes.
But it's really amazing. So how does it make you feel?
Again, I every time I do a podcast, every time I finish recording it, there's this essential. Sorry, I'm outside and
That's
I've got
cool. Correct.
neighbors with dogs. Yeah, this is live, folks.
Yeah.
So
He's a real person.
that's right. It's real. It's real. Accomplished. Every time I do them, I just feel so excited, so accomplished that this thing is about to be. It's like a Stings analogy, a message in a bottle. You put it out there and you send it out, and it has more to do with the waves than it does anything else. And so you just put it out there. You just keep putting those messages out, and it's just such an exciting thing to do, to just kind of watch what the universe does with it.
Yeah.
Where the wave's gonna take it.
There's so much I can say right now, but I have to switch gears.
Got it. Yeah, 12 minutes. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. I'm a message in a bottle. Well, Tony, let's switch gears for a moment, and let me now invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Tony, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Earliest childhood memory. Oh, that's good, man. All right. I didn't think I was gonna think. All right. Earliest childhood memory. Oh, this is a funny one. When I remember living in Lansing, Michigan, and it was a cold day, and I was probably 5, and which is weird because I know so many people that can think back to when they're like 2 or 1, which I think that's ridiculous. I'm not even sure they're being honest. But I remember knocking on a door trying to get into my friend's house, and the rest of my friends were inside. And so I'm knocking on the door, and it's bitter cold, and they're not letting me in. And I start pounding, and as I hit it one more time, my hand goes right through the window. And so there's blood everywhere, and I'm freaking out. and I'm so sad that my friends haven't let me in.
Oh,
That's yeah, wow, weird that would come up as the first thing.
that's amazing. Why do you think this memory is so clear?
So honestly, I think that has a lot to do with the experiences I've had, especially recently. I was told by my faith, the larger faith community, that I just didn't, the way I viewed things didn't quite fit in. And I feel like my whole life I've kind of lived that of, the ideas that I have don't always fit the system, or it makes the system kind of uncomfortable when someone starts asking questions. And so I think I've been always kind of been that guy that's kind of on the outside looking in. But I'm also realizing that I need to stop trying to get into those spaces and just turn around and look at the wider world. And that's actually been the the lesson I've learned lately. Man, this is so good. I never thought about that before. Thank you. I feel like I'm in therapy right now. It's good.
Yes. Would you like to have a seat? I'm joking.
That's
I'm
right.
joking. Well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Yes.
So, my friend, it is absolutely fascinating that earlier in the conversation you actually expressed that sometimes there are people knocking on the stained glass, right? Not understanding that in itself is actually the reconstruction of the thing, right? You remember when you said that, right?
Oh, wow. Look at
Right?
that.
Which is intriguing, but just to add to what you said, you're not sure if you need to stop, right, and focus on the other side, or the world, if you would. It just stood out to me that the process of the pain that occurs is part of the story that is needed, which is the blood that was spilled.
That's good.
If we fast forward to when you were 12 years old, what was your favorite song?
12 years old. What would that have been? That would have been 1992. Was Crisscross around by then? I really liked R&B when I was around 12 or 13.
What song from Crisscross?
Trying to remember Crisscross and
Jump.
Jump. And I also remember Boys to Men, really liking Boys to Men. That End of the Road song.
Oh,
That was good.
that was good, yeah.
Many skating parties holding hands. I remember that one.
That's amazing. But it's amazing how we can connect dots, right, with the names of songs as well. I mean, just the fact of the Chris and the cross, there we go, and the end of the road, and is it really the end of the road, right? Just saying.
Right.
Just connecting, just playing with the words, right? It's amazing, isn't it?
Oh, so good. Yep.
Well, Tony, we've arrived at our destination, but before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form, so it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready?
Ready.
Tony, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Yes.
Are you married?
Yes.
Do you have children?
Yes.
Do you believe in God?
In a way.
Do you have an inner circle of friends?
Yes.
Do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
No.
How about 3 hours a week?
Yeah.
What about screen time, the phone and the computer? Is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
Screen time, probably 8.
If you had to share with us, Tony, your own unique real statement, a statement that represents who you are, what would you say that is?
Helping people move beyond the brakes.
And there we go. Tony, just like the breaking glass. Tony Wuerfel, this was such a great pleasure. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I would say stay curious, ask the questions, and continue moving deeper and deeper in them. And when you look around, you'll realize you are not alone.
Love
There's
it.
a million other people doing the same.
Tony Wuerfel, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
Love it. Thank you, man.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyag.com.